G'day everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse, Tucker World, Marks Point, with this Friday's fishing report. Of course, Christmas on Monday. Behind me here, Moon Island. As you can see, guys, a little bit of swell today. It's around about 2 metres. It'll start to abate over the next couple of days. These southerly winds will ease, and tomorrow doesn't look too bad at all, with a bit of a sou'easter in the afternoon. Low tide tomorrow morning around about 6:15, and low tide is around about 12:30. Now, the full moon's going to roll through next Wednesday, so it's just this build up to the full moon. Report out of last week, obviously went to the shelf there last Saturday. First got out there, water was terrible, 21.9 and green as grass. Late in the afternoon, up as high as 25.1 degrees. We dropped the marlin around about lunchtime, right on the top of that tide, but there were a couple of fish caught from the car park down, a couple of fish lost as well. So there are definitely marlin out there. We didn't see any mahi-mahi out there, however, got some good reports in on the fad. So the fad and in on those close traps, some really good dolphin fish there. And that water is just getting better and better, and you can see several current lines from the shelf right the way in, basically to the fad. And of course, next week, when we get after Boxing Day, there's some really warm weather coming, guys, and not a lot of wind, I might add. So ideal for this offshore fishing, particularly if you want to get out wide. Still fish on the farm, like we made mention, plenty of dollies out there, and still some snapper, but you'll see a bit more current start to get in on that farm area in that 190 to 100 metre line. Inshore, a few bonito, guys, still not many. I think that we're going to probably look to the new year before we see any real big increase in bonito. A lot of trag coastally, so a lot of bag limit catches of trag getting caught right the way up and down the coast, and still some nice inshore reds, nice flatties, and a real mixed grill on these inshore reefs. The beaches with this water temperature just above 21 degrees at the moment, a lot of whiting and dart, and a lot of guys talking about how many dart they've been catching. To my good mate Justin Worley the other day took the family up, couldn't get away from the dart up at Blacksmiths Beach, so you've got to fish through those guys. And really the better whiting have been getting caught throughout the day, more so than the early and the latter part of the day. So just pick your tides, and of that low tide around about 12:30, good opportunity to get up there, either around about 10:30 fish to the bottom of the tide, or fish that bottom of the tide up and avoiding the high tide. Still some really nice brim on the beaches, and that seems to be coastally. Seeing some bit of action now getting down on the rocks as well, getting some reports of a few good yellowtail kingfish on some of those rock platforms. And again, when they're swaller baits, it looks like not too bad a period for about 5 or 6 days for our rock fishermen. The next prawn run, of course, is in January. So after the full moon, 7 to 10 days after the full moon rolls through from Wednesday, we will see that January run. But a lot of flathead in the system. As they start to get into January, you're going to see this big heavy spawn happen. So there's a lot of big female flathead out there at the moment, and a lot of males mixing in with them. There's some beautiful brim and certainly some cracking whiting still getting caught on the flats. And of course, tube worms are definitely the pick of the baits, but you can still use fresh schoolie prawns, or indeed move in to start using some of the surface lures such as sugar pens and splash prawns in particular to work the surfaces and to move around. Crabs have been a bit difficult, guys. I've had a lot of guys this week now talking about where do I find the crabs. Look, the crabs in around about September, October into November were pretty good, but they're now starting to just be a bit sparser, and there's a lot more jennies getting caught. So guys, you're just going to have to stay with the pots and move around. I still think that sort of like 20-foot mark could be all right, but maybe in as close as 15 now as we start to get into summer. And of course, the equinox has gone through today, where today is the longest day of the year. It's all downhill for the next 6 months as we head back into basically June. Still some kingies in the lake, but squid still hard. I had a report today, got one of the boys, went down to Murray's, went up the drop over, and really didn't get any. But some of these more isolated pockets, I think you've just got to move around chasing the squid, and I think you've got a greater advantage in catching squid if you're using soft plastics or vibes for the flathead in deep water, and just trail a squid jig, and I reckon that'll be the pick. Now with that moon rising, obviously for the offshore guys, those trag will really kick into gear, but you'll see a lot more mulloway as the conditions start to ease offshore, but there's some really nice mulloway getting caught in the lake as well. Now remember guys, over Christmas, the waterways guys, fisheries, everyone will be out doing their due diligence and basically checking on everyone. So you've got to make sure your life jackets are in good order, no corrosion on the cylinders, but make sure most of all of your safety equipment is tip-top and in basically all there, and check before you leave home. Otherwise, you're going to get pinged with a fine. Remember guys, there's only around about a month to go for Fisherman's Warehouse Tackle World at Marks Point, and we will cease trading there. So all of that stock is now starting to leave, and of course there's still some really good specials over this Christmas period. We'll be there right through Christmas. We're only going to close Christmas Day, and I'll be back Boxing Day morning, and we'll have plenty of bait, and there's still tackle there to go. So I'll see you through that Christmas period. Thanks for your support. I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas and a beautiful New Year, and I will see you in a week's time. Next Friday. See you then.